Welcome back. The details. President Abdel Fattah Sisi received on Saturday the Eritrean Minister of Foreign Affairs Osman Saleh and the Eritrean President's Advisor for Political Affairs Yemeni Gabr Abiy in the presence of Minister of Foreign Affairs Sameh Shukri and the Chief of the General Intelligence Abbas Kamel. Presidential spokesperson Councillor Ahmed Fahmy said El-Sisi expressed Egypt's keenness to enhance ties with Eritrea and coordinate efforts on regional issues and security domains.
President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi received on Saturday a written message from his Eritrean counterpart Isaias Afwerki on means of promoting bilateral ties in various domains. The message highlighted the distinguished relations binding the two brotherly countries. In the message, the Eritrean president underlined the importance of intensifying coordination and consultation in light of ongoing regional developments and challenges. Presidential spokesperson Councillor Ahmed Fahmy said this came during President el-Sisi's meeting with the Eritrean Minister of Foreign Affairs Osman Saleh and the Eritrean President's Advisor for Political Affairs Yemeni Gabr Abiy in the presence of the Minister of Foreign Affairs Sameh Shukri and the Chief of General Intelligence Abbas Kamel. The meeting tackled the latest regional and international developments of mutual concerns, especially with regards to the conditions in Sudan and Horn of Africa. President el-Sisi voiced his appreciation for the Eritrean president, stressing Egypt's keenness on enhancing ties with Eritrea and coordinating efforts on regional security issues. The president also underscored the necessity of promoting cooperation and joint projects in various development fronts.
President Abdel Fattah Sisi and Turkish Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan affirmed on Saturday the importance of securing urgent and safe humanitarian aid access to the Gaza Strip. This came during President Sisi's meeting with visiting Turkish Foreign Minister. We have more details in the coming report.
President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi received on Saturday the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Turkey, Hakan Fidan, at the Presidential Palace. Minister of Foreign Affairs Sameh Shukri and Chief of General Intelligence Services Abbas Kamel attended the meeting. They discussed the overall developments and bilateral cooperation, where appreciation was voiced for the promotion of ties witnessed by the Egyptian-Turkish relations, which took place within the framework of mutual respect and common interests. On the other hand, views were exchanged regarding the acceleration of military escalation in the Gaza Strip, where consensus was reached on the extreme danger of the current situation and its threat to security and stability in the region. President el-Sisi and Fidan affirmed the necessity to secure urgent and safe humanitarian aid access to the Gaza Strip, as the two sides expressed grave concerns over the deterioration of the humanitarian situation there. They also called for the sparing people in Gaza, policies of collective punishment through siege, starvation, and displacement. Turkish officials hailed the Egyptian vital role in coordinating and facilitating humanitarian relief aid delivery from various countries to the Palestinian people. President el-Sisi and Fidan called for a just and comprehensive settlement of the Palestinian issue in order to push forward a radical and permanent solution to the current worsened conditions.
Egypt warned of Israeli military's calls to Gaza residents and UN international representatives in the Strip to evacuate their homes and head towards South Egypt, stressed that this measure is a grave violation of international humanitarian rules and will risk the lives of more than a million people and their families of staying without shelter at the open, facing dangerous and harsh humanitarian and security conditions, in addition to massing of hundreds of thousands in areas unsuitable for them. Egypt also demanded the Israeli government to stop doing such escalating steps, which will have dangerous repercussions in the Gaza Strip, and demanded the UN Security Council to shoulder its responsibility to stop these measures. The UN and international actor parties also called for interference to evade further escalation with uncalculated repercussions in Gaza. Meanwhile, Jordan warned of any movement by Israeli side to force a new displacement of the Palestinians that will lead the whole region to dangerous situations. Jordanian Foreign Minister Ayman al-Safadi described Israel's prevention of entering humanitarian aid to Gaza and obliging its residents to leave their homes in the time of its war on the Strip as flagrant breach of international law. On the ground, Israeli military said Saturday that Gaza City residents must not delay their departure before an expected ground offensive starts, as people leaving the north of the territory again jammed roads south. Details.
Palestinians scrambled to flee North Gaza on Saturday after the Israeli military ordered nearly half the population to evacuate south and carried out limited ground forays ahead of an expected land offensive. Israel renewed calls on social media and in leaflets dropped from the air for some 1 million residents to move south, whilst Hamas urged people to stay in their homes. Israel has faced calls from the UN, US and European Union to delay an expected full offensive to give civilians time to leave. The UN and aid groups have said such a rapid exodus could cause untold human suffering, with hospital patients and others unable to relocate. Palestinian witnesses said Israel struck cars rushing south, and Hamas said the strikes killed more than 70 people. Medical aid group Doctors Without Borders said patients and medical staff in a hospital in Gaza spent part of their night on the street, with bombs landing in close proximity, following Israel's orders to evacuate the facility. Gaza authorities say at least 2,215 people have died in Israeli retaliatory strikes against Gaza targets over the last 7 days, amongst them 724 children. The occupied West Bank, the Palestinian Health Ministry, reported 16 Palestinians were killed, bringing the total of Palestinians killed there to 51.
Chairperson of the Arab Parliament, Adel Assoumi, presided on Saturday over the first general meeting of the fourth session for the third legislative term of the Parliament at the premises of the Arab League. The Arab Parliament addressed the consecutive Israeli incursion on the Gaza Strip, as well as the latest developments on the Arab region in the political, economic, security and social fronts. Details.
Chairman of the Arab Parliament, Adel Assoumi, presided on Saturday over the first general meeting of the fourth session for the third legislative term of the Parliament at the premises of the Arab League. Arab Parliament addressed the consecutive Israeli incursion on the Gaza Strip, as well as the latest developments on the Arab region in the political, economic, security and social fronts. In his address, he said the region has recently witnessed serious developments over the Israeli occupation violations against unarmed Palestinian civilians, holding Israel responsible for the current conditions in the Palestinian territories. He added that urgent Arab action is needed to bolster support for central issues of the Palestinian cause throughout the region. Addressing the meeting, the Arab Parliament chief called on the international community to stand up for its role to stop the Israeli aggression according to international law. He asserted the occupation authorities have gone far in its war against Palestinians through shelling neighborhoods, cities and targeting civilians in the Gaza Strip. He also pointed to the insistence of the occupation authorities on forcing displacement of Palestinians in the Gaza Strip, describing what is happening as a war crime.